I'm in pain. Like, I'm in so much pain. Forget my legs, my back. By 3 p.m., I thought I was gonna die. Suffering is temporary. The mindset of like, I'm suffering or I'm depressed or I'm going through a hard time, if changed, then you wouldn't see those moments as suffering. It can't be normal. I have to have that high performance mindset, and I've got to go above and beyond. Do what you see as the maximum. If you see there's more room, go fill in that gap.
From your perspective, what is the high performance mindset?
I'll throw in a few things. One,
Seena Akbary is the founder of Peak60R and Energy Camp, a winner of Hyrox 2024, winner of Spartan 2021, and he's the guy who lifted the 60 kg tire for 15 hours straight during Ramadan while fasting, and to make it even harder, during summer. In this episode, I try to understand what's the story behind this mindset. How did that all happen? And more, all in this episode. Alright, before we kick off with today's episode, if you can do me this small favor and subscribe to this channel, I'll highly appreciate it, and will help me bring you more and more high performance to this show. This is the High Performance Mindset, and today's guest is Seena Akbary. Enjoy this episode. Seena.
oh man,
We said we'd run it back. I didn't know it would happen this soon.
it had
But
to happen.
I'm glad we caught up right back to it. Last thing we spoke about, we got into just before COVID, which of course for everybody, nobody forget what the period was like. But there's something that you didn't mention before, which while researching you, I saw that you're on some podium for Bahrain Spartan race.
Yeah.
What position did you come? What was that like? Why did you decide to do it anyways?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. That was actually my first podium. Yeah, so that was an exciting day for me. I remember I remember being not only in shock but really happy that day, because it was a good 2 years of like fighting for that podium spot in a Spartan race.
Like you had attended?
Yeah, I have.
You
I had in
participated
Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
I remember I did one, I think, in even Sharjah before the Bahrain one, Maliha. I'd done a few. It was already kind of like, it started as a let's go a new direction, or let's try a new direction, and then it was like, okay, now I'm in it. Let's win it. So then it was the hours of running, which was kind of new, but it was as I said, it was a special day. It's a stadium race, so it's a unique race. So your very good runners had a bit of a disadvantage in this race. Your more strength, power, speed focused guys had a better advantage. Why? Because your runs were stairs. They're up and down, right? So your usual Spartan, it's more the distances would stay the same. Your 5K would be more, straights, right? Some desert, some sand, where this one was going up and down the stadium. It was zigzagging up and down. So I had a good advantage there. And then obstacles I've always been good with. Calisthenics has always been a part of my programming. And with wrestlers, we have crazy grip. So it's been always blessed with the grip for Spartan races. So yeah, that was a good day for me. That was the day I was like, oh man, I have that feeling that I've been chasing for, to get back from wrestling. So that was a very special day. And then Bahraini people took me out for some Bahraini food. Guys I'd never met, they congratulated me on the podium. Who you here with? I was like, I'm alone. It was my introvert phase. Didn't have energy camp, so I didn't have a lot of friends. And I could say that really. A lot of guys that know me now and that just seen me in the gym before energy camp used to be like, either I don't like this guy, or he's like super rude, or he's just a weirdo, because I'm a proper go in the gym, headphones, come out, forget to say hi to the receptionist kind of guy. So yeah, these guys took me out, so welcoming. They even messaged me the next day like, hey, can we like show you around the city? And this is when I was like, wow, I really think Bahraini people are super nice, super giving, like he doesn't even know me. This guy's never even, knows nothing about me, and he was already, super kind. So that was a good day.
What was the preparation like?
For the stadium race?
Yeah.
It wasn't too specific. I signed up for that race pretty last minute. I think, again, because of my advantage with the running, I got blessed to be able to use more, fast twitch fibers and speed and power rather than
Because I think for a Spartan race, like, you have to be a well-rounded.
It really is. I mean, I think this is why, for example, Hunter McIntyre, the most, the best world, has the highest number of world records for Hyrox, was a champ in Spartan. The transition was easier for him because it's very similar. It's a very hybrid, all-around game, right? Instead of functional plus endurance, it's, calisthenics, gymnastics plus endurance. You're still running in between stations, and then you got to climb, jump, crawl, right? Carry as well. I mean, actually, if you think about it, it's got a lot of elements that Hyrox designed. Even your farmer's carry, Spartan's been doing that for 15, 20 years with barrels of water, barrels of sand. So it's a very hybrid, like you said, kind of competition, and very similar to Hyrox. Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so moving now back to the COVID period. What was that like?
COVID?
What was happening in your life just before COVID hit?
Just before COVID hit. That was the coaching, being blessed with the coaching, starting to get a lot of VIP clients, building my name, and then just word of mouth. And then Instagram was just, just doing those challenges for myself to put out some content. Not on too much of a consistent level, but just kind of like as I would go out to train somewhere, I would do something unique and post about it. But the word was getting around with the whole coaching thing. This guy's sports psychology background, strength and conditioning coach that has a very unique twist to how he trains people, from just experience of all my previous coaches that I've had. As I mentioned before, I think that was the main, kind of uniqueness behind my coaching. And yeah, I think it was just the name was building, and I was in a pretty good place in the coaching industry just before COVID. And then COVID came. Things got interesting. There was no gyms, all gyms closed, right? So where are you going to train? A lot of my clients I was going to their houses at that time, but still wasn't right away. I got text that, hey man, family, priority, safety, we can't have, And then obviously the law came out where you guys cannot go out, and you have to stay, covered and distance and all that fun stuff. And then most of my clients went online. So I was really blessed in that sense as well, that a lot of them said, hey, Seena, we're happy to go online over Zoom and do some sessions. And I was like, great, fantastic. Like, yeah, let's do it. And then before you know it, I get a call to go to one of my clients. This is when things got a little bit easier, when things opened up more. So they were like
after
making
the
2 minute, 2 meter rule. Like as long as you're wearing a mask, you guys can go out, train, outside on the beach, do your thing, no groups, that kind of stuff. Things got a little bit more flexible. And I was invited to a farm from one of the clients to stay there and train there and eat there and ride horses every morning, puppies running around, washing horses.
Is that where you learned how to ride horses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did when I was a little kid. I did maybe where you sit on the horse and they walk you.
Yeah.
But nothing more than that. Like never ride a horse. So I learned horse riding there in Alawir. That was cool. I rode every single morning, sunrise, trained myself, trained the client, and then I would do a few Zooms online because I still was doing the online.
And I'm
coaching.
sure that also developed some new muscles.
A lot of alone time. for me, like I think obviously everyone had a different way they experienced COVID, but that was a very unique experience for me. And but I did spend a lot of alone time, as you would think that I was, in the farm, but like, just
What's it like dealing with the horses? I really find it very interesting, building that bond with the horse, because that's a beast.
The trust is something else, because when you don't know how to ride and you know that this horse is capable and you feel it, as soon as you get on that horse, you know how massive, strong, and powerful this is. The horse can throw you off in a second. So building that trust with the horse, one of the trainers / jockeys there, South African guy, again, without mentioning any names in the podcast today, really helped me out with that, with building the confidence to ride. He was a super cool guy. He was, honestly, it was a blessing having them there. He was very like,
and how do you
it felt like
trust?
I had a brother with me. You know what I mean? It was cool. So yeah, to trust the horse.
How you build the trust with the horse? I feel a lot of these elements can be translated into dealing with humans.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that, but I think process-wise, it was a reps thing. It was the more reps, the more days I got in there, and got on that horse, the more confidence I built to not squeeze so much. A common mistake people do, and why the horses usually run or throw them off, is they squeeze.
Okay.
And when you get to endurance and advanced horses, professional horses, which these horses were, they were racers. When you squeeze, it's a signal to go faster.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I remember I had to loosen up, because obviously the first thing you do is you squeeze. You don't want to fall off.
And you're tense yourself if you're not.
The horse feels it right away.
Yes.
This is what he taught me. Yeah. He said they feel your energy right away. So as soon as I relaxed and trusted, with days obviously repping, you start to just fall in love with a certain horse. And you know what? I think I was just talking to a horse rider the other day. I was like, how do you feel about riding different horses? They're like, no, you know what? You have to understand that building a relationship with a horse takes time, and every horse is different and they have a different personality. So when you talk about, connecting to human, I think it's very similar. These guys all have a different personality. Some have, I've heard horses with less temper, horses that have more more energy, more adrenaline, horses that just don't want to listen to you. So every horse is a different personality, and I think you have to build the bond with them. And I've heard even good horse riders be like, yeah, like that horse is just me and it's not gonna work, and it's a professional that's been riding his whole life, and he's like, that I know that I'm not gonna push it, like this horse does not like me, and that's okay. You know what I mean? You don't have to always be friends, I guess. So I built a relationship with the horse there. And there's a scene of me on Instagram, and I'll show you after this. But I got so much confidence that I was riding with one of the dogs, the German Shepherds, in the stable. These horses were so well trained and raised with dogs and other animals that they didn't fear from dogs. So this dog would go in the stable and just run. So I'm running in a circle. I'm in the stable,
and the
dog is just next to me, just following. At midnight, it was maybe like 8-9 p.m. at night, and that was a magical feeling. It felt like, have you ever seen Spirit? It's one of my favorite movies in the world. You need to watch Spirit. Spirit will teach you so much. It's about it goes back to the American Indian times and the war, and the Europeans coming to the States, where there was the American Indians there, and basically starting the military and killing all the American Indians. And these guys were very family, animal orientated, so animals with them were like family, especially horses. And it's about a horse that can't be broken. So they capture all these, different tribes, and they capture their horses with them. And this one horse is just not going to be broken. So it's about it goes through these stages where, because I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called breaking a horse, to basically obey, right? So a lot of animals, in their natural habitat, you can't just jump on their back. It takes, I'm not going to say everyone's breaking the horse, but, it takes discipline and
to win them.
Yeah, for them to just accept, whether it's with love or by force, which I don't agree with, for to be able to ride a horse, domesticate them. Have you heard the zebras are the only animals that can't be domesticated? Have you heard this?
No.
So a zebra in history is the only animal that you cannot domesticate, so they can't break. So no matter what, it'd rather die. That's why you see never anyone,
riding a zebra.
You'll see donkey, you'll see
True.
horse. It's interesting.
Camels.
Yeah.
But never a zebra.
No, can't break them. It's very rare. If you see it, it's something very rare.
Giraffe? No.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm not sure about the domesticated thing, but maybe like nobody ever wanted to ride a giraffe. Maybe it wasn't beneficial. But zebra, you can ride them like a horse, right? You can get to A and B.
Similar sizes,
It's similar. It's bigger than a donkey. Donkeys, travel and take luggage over countries, So, and it's stronger than a donkey. So, yeah.
Faster.
You need to watch Spirit. Oof, what a movie. Yeah.
All right. So, go to the farm, started learning how to ride horses.
As coaching, I took a lot of content there. I made a lot of videos. That helped build my social media. So that was continuously happening.
Okay.
Yeah. After that, the time came to go back home. And then back to a journey of coaching and.
So this time you're based in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi?
Dubai. Okay. Fully Dubai. And this is the time when was after the farm when I decided to take people on the beach and start energy camp. Well, it wasn't even planned to start energy camp. It was just what's the rules? What can we do? I took my entire gym out to the beach. Started as a invite your friends kind of thing. People coming and doing a workout. Grew. Name got around. And
when was this? This is
during COVID.
It's like end of 2020 or what?
This is the most flexible time I would say of COVID, like the end of...
21 was still COVID.
Yeah.
Just more flexible.
Yeah. Exactly. I have a post that we did our first boot camp on the beach, people wearing masks.
Okay.
It's on my energy camp. I can check the exact date. Yeah, there was nothing.
So that's how it started.
Yeah, this is how energy camp started. And then from there, I went to volleyball. We're like, we're actually good at getting people together. Not only about the whole fitness and thing, it was about also the vibe and the community and people getting to know each other. And that started to build. And the goal was always just to keep it simple, keep it that, beach boot camp. That's all we wanted to be known for. Okay, volleyball. People love volleyball. And then how that built itself was people themselves like, hey, Seena, you should add football, bro. Like, I'm always looking for a group to play football with. Like, you guys got a community and I love your group, do football. You know what, bro? Let's add football. Then we add football, and then football grew. And you know what? We needed good strength and conditioning, bro. Like not everyone can PT with you. You're super busy. Like, why don't you do group classes, bro? That'd be cool. You know what? Let's do group classes. Why not? Once a week, let's do group classes, strength and conditioning. Why not? Let's do it. And then this is how. There was no business plan. There was no money behind it. There was no plan. Zero.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, seeing now from what I observed from outside. Yeah. I see there is sound healing. Yeah. There's volleyball, as you mentioned. There's
paddle tournaments.
Tournament.
Yeah.
There's a run on a Friday morning.
Yeah. 2 sessions a day, every single day, and that's besides 2 to 3 events per month. Yeah.
And I was wondering, what was the purpose behind it? But I see that it's more to build a bondage in the community.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, I'm not sure if we mentioned in the previous podcast, but it started off as community, right? It started off as let's add to build community. And then this year we've transitioned fully into performance. So now, we have a package called the performance package. And it's just around, building athletes. Whether you're an everyday athlete already, you want to become, a professional athlete, or you're already at a high level and you want to get on that podium. This is what we program for, Me, Javier, PhD in sports science, and Coach Lee, we come together as a running coach, really good running coach. Does a lot of the champ marathon runners, and myself with sports psychology and strength and conditioning background, we come together and we program for these guys. So now our goal as Energy Camp is to build performance athletes for hybrid or whatever kind of is in the books. Again, connected to, I want to say community, but what falls under our 1 year plan, which is like, okay, next one is Primal, next one is Beijing Hyrox, next one is T100 triathlon. We look and we program based on what's coming, and our goal is to have the most podium athletes in the UAE. That's my goal right now. So like, I want, Energy Camp go in and come out with like, that's we've got the most number of people on the podium. That's really where my vision went this year, and this is what kind of gives me that drive. I don't really even coach much anymore in Energy Camp. I'm a participant. I program, and then I'm there training every single day. Whereas before, you wake up to go and teach. It's a different feeling now to wake up and go and train with these guys.
Because I always wondered, you would have different levels in your community.
Yeah.
And how do you get to train your own trainings? Because that would be maybe a longer mileage.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's just all in just good programming. Like, there's different level, like even when it comes to our anaerobic run, with weight training and stuff. Like this morning we had, option of 2 times 18 kg kettlebells, or up to 2 times 28, and people take based on their level and what they can. RPE 8 might be different for me. It might be a pace 320. For someone else, RPE 8 is a pace 520, right? So it doesn't really matter, if we're not at the same level, as long as we're there motivating each other. I think this is another thing that Energy Camp is so special in. We have that. I brought the high school wrestling crew vibe. Like, you'll see when you see one of us deadlift, there's like 3 of us around and let's get it. Come on, machine, let's get it. Like we push each other. It's different. I don't think I've seen anything like that in the UAE. And I can say that hands down. Like, the way we train, it's like tribal. It really is. Like, we motivate each other, and I think it's a beauty, because I did have that as well, where someone told me, why don't you put an advanced group and a beginner's group? I said, I don't want that. I don't want those guys, like whatever you want to consider them, beginners, to be there, to get motivated and want it and train with the best. We all have, to become the best, you have to train with the best. That's the only way around it. I used to tell, my dad, when I was studying in high school, and a lot of things I was CP level, which is like the normal level, and then you had honors classes. And my dad said, Seena, if you don't go into those honors classes, you're never going to be an honor student. And I was like, how am I going to get there? He's like, let me just help you get there. Like, we go really hard in the studying at the initial phase. I get you, because it's a score you take on a test, right? And then it's like, oh, you're an honor student. Because in the States, we section out CP and honors. So I have the same calculus class in CP and in honors. Same grade, everything. All the smart kids, all the average. But as soon as I transitioned from CP to honors, my intelligence changed. My drive changed. My hustle changed, because these guys were hustlers. These guys wanted to learn. They didn't have the hand on the desk, face down. So that was like, then I was like, damn, I get what my dad's talking about now. Like, it's really about your environment. Even if I want it, even if I'm super motivated, if everybody around me, doesn't care,
it's going to rub off you.
Yeah. It really will. It really will rub off, and it did, and I saw it firsthand. And I saw my entire education system change when I just switched to honors classes. So, yeah, this is what I try to play here as well, right? It's not about advance with advance. No, give these guys an opportunity. They come out there, if they give it their all, and they get that drive, they're gonna do whatever they want. They can. They have the ability. I wasn't an honor student. I forced myself into an honor student, and then I made it. I graduated with a 3.5 GPA. Nice. So it's not like, and I'm not a smart kid, and I never was a smart kid. I was never like, I had to be. You know what I mean? You can't go D1 with less than a 3.0 grade point average. Coach said it. Everyone's like, there's no choice. Care how good you are at sports. If you don't have a 3.0 average or higher, you're not going anywhere. I'll put you in a D3 school and go ahead. This is how we had it, right? So it wasn't a choice either. But to get there, I needed my environment to be strong. I don't think I would have, made it if everyone around me was like, yo, I'm cool with the 2.0, bro. Like, what are you hustling about? Like, if I had that around me, then I don't think I would have done it. It's hard. It's super hard. There are some that can, but I'm saying, like, it's not as easy,
No.
It's really not as easy. If the people around you don't want it, it's tough. So
you have
that's
to,
it.
especially if you're competitive, if you care about winning, if winning means anything to you, then you'd have to step up to the people around you.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be the weak link in the group.
Yeah.
Unless you have a different kind of mindset. But so that's a huge one, bro.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to know, like, growing a community is not easy, bro. A lot of people want to do it. A lot of people talk about it. Yeah. How did you observe the growth?
Energy Camp. Look, listening to the people was a big factor for sure. What I observed, that helped the growth, is that what you mean? Like what I believe is part of the growth?
Yeah.
Being real, being honest, showing care. Don't show that you want money, really listening to them. I think that's a really big one, because I had a lot of advisors, especially when it grew. I had people tell me like, no, Seena, you're running a business. What do you mean? Listen, you think you go to supermarket, you go to Walmart, and they tell you, or Carrefour here, and they tell you like, hey, bro, like, I think you should change your meat. Like, change it from, South African meat to Brazilian. Like, no, they're not allowed to do that. And this is what the advisors were telling me. And it really played in my head as well. And I went sometimes that, direction where we were like, look, the business is business. This is where we're at. This is what we need. But it doesn't work. Community, that's not what community is. Community is communication. Community is being there for each other. Community is not just, showing up to want something.
Once you've been there for them, that's where the loyalty is developed.
Yeah. And it's a big word now, like, it's changed so much. Now everyone just throws around the word community, puts people together and just, this is a community. But community is tribal. Community is, it's not about give and take. It's not about like, I go there to meet somebody. It's really feeling like you're part of a family. You know what I mean? Like, this is my second family. And we've seen people get married, through Energy Camp. Many, we've seen so many people that have come with, wanting to change their career, and they met somebody in there that helped them with that. And, it's people that, were alcoholics that now, are podium athletes. I've got some of those. So, it's a lot more than what people think. Community is a deep word, and it takes time. And it's back to your question. I think a big part of the growth is also the people that you work with. So for me, I gotta say, like, my team has been such a blessing. Having Julian as a business partner, my sister, and Peggy coming on board as well. It's been I think without them, there was no such thing as Energy Camp to what it is right now. I mean, we could have probably stayed on the beach and done that, but like, without having these business partners that are like really aligned with who you are, and really like your brothers and sisters, that's the key for me. That's the key for me. Who you work with, because you can't do it alone.
No,
you can't do it alone. Like,
maybe on a small scale.
Yeah, on a small scale. And I'm talking about I'm not talking about employees, because we've got about 32 employees. Like, I'm talking about, and that's extremely important, your team. But like, the ones with you that are, with you to the end, through the losses, through the can't pay the salaries, through the what do we do now, trade license renewal. Those guys, they better be super strong with you, and they better be aligned with what, who you are, because you're about to have hella up and downs. You really are. And if you don't have strong partners, and if you don't have, brothers and sisters with you, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very tough, because I've been there. It's gonna be very tough. So yeah, that's my main, I'll say, core fundamental behind starting any kind of business. You just don't think you can do it alone, and have the right people. Similar mindset, similar
values.
Values is very important. It's very important. If you got somebody that, wants the money more than,
you guys are gonna clash.
You're gonna clash, because, bro, we didn't make money for 4 years. I say that openly to everybody. We didn't make a dirham. I paid so much money out of my own pocket from money I was making from coaching into the business without even telling my business partners. Because I was like, I'm not going to go to, there was moments where I was like, I can't go tell them that we're losing this month. Like, I don't want to demotivate anyone on my team, and I'll just pay it out of my pocket all the time. I still do to this day. It can't be about the money. You got to look at the longer vision. And the past 2 years, we finally started, seeing something, and we just put it back in the business. Everything you see in Energy Camp right now has zero investment. It's like zero cap. Nobody's put in any cash. No, we made money. We put it back in. Add this. We have money for marketing now. We only got a marketing team last year. We never had a marketing team 5 years. We never had, marketing. We, made some graphics ourselves, took some videos with our phones, maybe hired a videographer every now and then if we could afford it. Now we've got enough money to hire, an agency. Let's do it. Oh, now we can hire an accountant. We were doing accountant. Juju was our accountant. We never had an accountant. This business built itself. And I really mean it built itself. There was, we've been approached by 100 investors. Come put in a few million and get them. No, we're not looking for that. We're not looking for that. We as long as I see every single day, every single month, something is changing, you're not gonna stop me. Because I see change, I see growth, and I'm looking still.
It's a huge sacrifice. It's a huge sacrifice, because especially when you keep going through like financial challenges, not for yourself, but let's say paying salaries, and because that puts you in a very in a messed up situation where you don't have the face to come and tell your employee, can we delay it a little bit, and you're gonna do whatever it takes to probably take loans just to cover.
Been there. Every single month.
That's from one side, and now you're like, as we're growing, maybe we should, let's pump up some money into it. But that's when you start diluting the brand. Your power gets diluted as well, and then its originality will just die out as a community. So that's a huge sacrifice. But if you can hang in there, then the others can't compete with you, because they are not doing the same kind of investments. So they are not going to rip the same rewards. They just can't, no matter how huge you are. You don't buy communities.
Yeah.
These are people. These are connections.
Yeah.
You don't just buy that.
Yeah. You said it right there, bro. It's not the hours spent. If I had, $1 million in the bank, I don't think I would require 5 hours a week with just the partners every single week to sit down and talk about how to be creative and be better and be different. You know what I mean? That fire doesn't come out unless you need it. If we had money, I'd just pay an agency to a creative team to put campaign proposals and send them to me, and I say yes or no. But we sit down every week and look at the market, and we look at what's trending outside, what's popping, why are these athletes, how come records are being beat right now? Like how is someone doing a sub 2 hour marathon? What did he go through? How much zone 2? How is what's the guy for guitar, the Tour de France cyclist? How is he doing that? Oh, he's got 90% of his hours are in zone 2. We have to study that. Let's put some more zone 2 training program into these athletes. Like, it takes time and meetings and back and forth and spending so much money. We got an office. I have an office in Garhoud that we never go to. All of us are out here paying rent for, renting out little offices for the day with a whiteboard and scratching every single week. Nobody sees that behind. But that drive is only there because I've got 30 employees to pay a salary at the end of every month. So you learn how to you learn how to become a responsible. You don't have a choice. When they say like your father, your mother, like you don't really have a choice. Like, he's got to eat. You got to find some food, right? So this is kind of my, I wouldn't even say motivation. I think this is why we do what we do. This is why we hustle so hard, and I don't want to take that away from me. I'm scared someone drops 2 million and we're just like chilling.
What do I do now?
Yeah. Do you want to go on a holiday? Like, no, I'm happy with my lifestyle. I'm happy with where it's going. Like I said, we're blessed with our team, and yeah, the Energy Camp came a long way, and it's still there now. Now we've got corporate wellness. We do events, we do production, we run operations. I do consulting for hotel wellness brands. We help build community in other brands now. So now it's at a level where, like, most of my time in Saudi is consulting for brands, hotels here. We've done so many, without mentioning names, helped so many brands, build community. We do events, we do unique, challenges. We build obstacles for prizes. We just did a paddle tournament, and with 2 weeks in advance, the best national team player came, with Iranian national team. So UAE national team with the Iranian national team as a team came and won the tournament. We're really good at operations. We're really good at, we've been doing it so long. So, bringing the MC in, the vibes, the structure, the tournament. We have tournament specialists, on our team. We've got 3 group travels a year now. So every year we're in Kenya in 1 month to hopefully meet Kipchoge. The under 2 hour.
That would be crazy.
So it's in the plan. It just keeps rolling. It just keeps rolling, and I'm excited. I'm really, like, every single year I'm just like, what's going on?
What do people say after they come back from the trips?
We've had many interesting feedbacks. I'd say just ask them. Because if I say like,
Okay.
I don't want to say people say it's the best trip or whatever. All I can say is we try our best to promise unique, different experiences, something you're not going to find on Google, things to do in Zimbabwe, or things to do. We always take them to unique countries, and sometimes it's some country that a lot of people go to, but we're looking for a very unique experience there. And it's always active. It's always fitness. When I say fitness, I mean active. We got rock climbing. We're snorkeling. We're probably canoeing in the white water rafting. We're doing, jungle safaris, cycling through the forest.
All right. So 2021.
Back to it.
Another podium for Spartan, right?
Yeah.
But this was here.
This was in Abu Dhabi?
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
You came first, though.
2021, or was it 2022? It was after COVID.
Okay.
After COVID. This is the Abu Dhabi World Champs. Yeah. Another podium. This was
there a different training?
Yeah. We're deep into running now. We're running desert runs about 6 hours a week. That consists of one long run that can be between 21 and 30 kilometers. And
how was the build-up, like, in terms of the stamina from the moment you started? Like, what were the challenges
on the race?
No, the preparation first? Running on sand is different.
100%. It's very different. I used to go to the desert in near another Shaba military in the back, and I did a lot of desert runs, a lot of dehydrated runs. I think all this, by the way, is a buildup of all these challenges, the tire flip and the devil. Like all this was like, it wasn't done overnight. You know, it wasn't like I'm gonna do this challenge, let me prepare for it. No, I think I've been putting my body through suffering and pain. I put out a video in either 2022 or 2021, definitely after COVID, in the desert, talking about why I believe suffering is a positive word. It's not a bad word. You know, it's a very good thing.
What do you mean?
Suffering. I think suffering, people see it as a negative, and you know what I've experienced is, you know, all those moments of suffering. You know, being dehydrated or legs feeling super tight while I'm running up a sand dune was only growth for me. You know, it was only like, it was a temporary moment that passes. You know, suffering is temporary. I don't think it's, you know, I think anything suffering can become overcome, and it's going to always benefit you. I mean, in simple terms, like, you know, your hardships become, you know, your wins. But I think deep down, like, the mindset of like, I'm suffering or I'm depressed or I'm going through a hard time, if changed, you know, if what the byproduct belief in that word changed in your mind, then you wouldn't see those moments as suffering. You know, now when I'm if you put me in the desert for 3 hours and I'm super dehydrated, back in the day I might have been like, I hate this, I'm gonna pass out, I'm not okay, why am I doing this to myself, you know, just go home. Like, all those kind of thoughts come. They don't come anymore. Now my mindset's like, when that happens, I'm like, yeah, new stimulus, I just gained more muscle fibers, body's, you know, adapting. It's not 3 hours now, I can do 4 hours. You know, my pace is going to increase when you put me in that AC. I'm going to smoke everybody in that run, because I'm used to running outside, they're used to AC. You know what I mean? Like,
You redirect
100%, but it's automated now. It's automated, you know. Now I don't have to.
I mean, I'm sure all of these dark thoughts were running through your mind when you were flipping the tire while fasting.
That was a whole new stimulus, bro. That was, yeah, like, first time
But why did you decide to do it?
Flipping the tire?
Yeah. So for those who didn't hear it in the first episode, you were flipping tires for 15 hours.
16, yeah. So who to iftars, almost 16 hours.
Yeah, yeah. From break of dawn till sunset, and while fasting.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you just tell me just to do just a squat for around an hour straight, I'll be like, you're crazy. So
it's a big question. Why? There was a lot of whys at that moment. You know, I'll start by I would say the biggest factor of what made me do it: comfortability. That was a moment in my life where, after all the uncomfort of, you know, the wrestling transition to moving to a new country, to you studied, you know, your master's in something that you don't want to work in, that was already, you know, suffering in my mind, changing, inconsistency. This point in my life, I was consistently comfortable. I felt comfortable. I had a good salary.
Why you didn't like that?
I knew something's gonna go. You know, I have that, you know, this is super psychological. I don't like being too comfortable, you know, to a point. I remember before this, I went back to the States.
I want problems. That's what's coming in my head.
I went back to the States for 6 months, looking into the kickboxing field. and looking
This is
into
after COVID.
shadowing. Yeah, after COVID. I went back home with my mom in Atlanta, and actually that was a very interesting phase of my life because all my clients were like, are you gone? You leaving us? What's going on? I was like, I'm just taking a little break. I want to see my mom for a little while. And it could have been, it could have been partially as well that I wanted to, spend some time with my mom and just recalibrate and just reset a little bit. Like, it was a lot of the whole COVID thing, working, and I was working a lot, bro. I used to wake up at some point. So after all this, I was waking up every single day at 5 a.m., starting my first sessions at 6, back-to-back 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10. I would do like 8, 9 clients back-to-back without rest, outdoor, skydive. And then I'd drive to Abu Dhabi, and I was managing a boxing boutique. This is actually where I got my biggest drive for the whole kickboxing thing. Before I left, I was managing a boxing boutique. I was head coaching at a boxing boutique, teaching drip bag boxing. Have you heard of that? Like, it's with music. It's a tier bag. It's, dark room. You don't got to be a pro. You're not fighting. It's a fitness thing. Actually how it happened is during my time of, Spartans and races, I went to a Abu Dhabi cancer run. It was a run for cancer in Zayed Sports City. And over there, they had a little stand and they had a little boxing bag. Again, I'd done boxing before, but nothing professional. It might have just been with the friends or like whatever. Some coaching lessons, some group classes here and there. How many punches could you do in a minute? And they put a chip inside your glove, and how fast can you punch it? And I won that. And I won that for the entire day of everyone that participated. And the owner came up to me and he was like, hey, bro, what's your name? Like, you're a boxer? And I was like, actually, I'm not a boxer. Like, wrestling background and live in Dubai. So then this was like a phase 2 of Abu Dhabi. Come on as this and come here to be a partner and blah, blah. Didn't work out as mentioned, but I built that company a lot. I was a big part of that, bringing the hype and the people. And obviously me and the owner didn't have our similar, visions, and it's okay. And they went for a good, but I was, again, Dubai till like 3 p.m., drive to Abu Dhabi an hour and a half, teach, manage, drive back at 10 p.m., get home, get in bed, showered, everything, 11, 12, same thing next day. And I was doing that 6 days a week for almost 8 months, every single day. So, it was, I think that reset that I told you when I went back to the States, it was about needed. I was really, they say hustling, I was hustling. So I went back, I shadowed some coaches and US top team for kickboxing. I asked some friends, like, look, I'm into this fitness thing. I want to get into, like, I've been strength and conditioning coaching. I've got this. I love to see, how these guys, these professional fighters are training. Few of them from the UFC. Like now there's a lot of UFC fighters that come out of US top team kickboxing in Atlanta. And I was there shadowing, these coaches, and then training every single day, kickboxing. And I fell in love with martial arts. Boom, let's go back. Came back to the UAE, and this was where Seena's, journey of martial arts came into play. We got Thailand, Muay Thai, let's get into it, Started working again, saved up some money, went to Thailand, sailed around Thailand, found a few gyms, did Muay Thai for 7 weeks. I remember it was 7 weeks of train in the morning, train conditioning in the evening. You're gonna fight. I was like, I'm not gonna fight. Like, these times are done. Like, before I got to that stage, I was like, all right, time to go back. Like, but oh my God, the amount of stuff I learned in Muay Thai discipline is something magic. I mean, it's different. It's so different from kickboxing. It's a completely different discipline. Like kickboxing, someone kicks you, move out the way, Muay Thai, don't move. You better literally check it, So that was very interesting. Yeah, shin to shin.
Yeah.
And bro, if you look at my shins right now, destroyed. They're destroyed. And I think they're so destroyed compared to like most Muay Thai fighters, because I'm not used to, like, a lot of the professional fighters have been, conditioning for it their whole life. I've got cuts everywhere. I used to have bleeding shins all the time. It was like super sensitive,
Sure.
So after all that, back to Dubai, into comfort, where blessed with, honestly, some really good clients where I didn't have to hustle like that anymore. The name built up where I could do like 4 clients a day, be comfortable, salary, be able to pay my bills, be comfortable, be able to travel, and that's when I was like, something's wrong. Like, I don't like this comfort. I need to get out of this comfort zone. And what am I gonna do? And I just kept thinking, and I remember I was doing a long run in the desert, and I just came up with this idea that I need to, it's Ramadan, people are fasting. Let me do a challenge. Let me do this, and I did it first time, and I failed. So I did it in the first year. First year was, I guess, 2022, and I failed, and I got a huge cramp, the size of a watermelon. I got, not exaggerated, like a small melon, coming out of my quad. And there was news, and there was Gulf news, and this time there was zero backing. I didn't have Under Armour behind me. I was a Under Armour athlete, but I wasn't like at a comfortable level to be like, guys, get me some PR, blah blah blah. It was just, my friends from the gym that said, yo, I know somebody, like, from the Gulf news and stuff like that, like, you need to document this, And imagine 6 hours in, I got a giant cramp. It wasn't even a cramp, it was a tear, like, it was like this color was changing. Took a picture of it. They sent it and they said, Seena, if you continue, like, you're gonna have a fat injury for a good 6 months. So I stopped, cried. I got so sad. I remember I think it was the guys from Gulf News, like, there, with the cameras and stuff. And I stopped, and I came back next year, and that's when I did the challenge. And this time with, telling Under Armour behind, about it in advance, so they got the news behind it and the PR. And
preparation wise, how was it different?
A lot of reps. I was on some like lightweight high reps for a good 3 months before. I was lunging my reps. I'm 1,000. 1,000 push-ups, 1,000 lunges, 1,000 squats, like that. Those type of workouts. Throw myself out in the sun and run. But back to that's all cool. But the why is still, I think, the most important thing. And again, it comes back to my initial feeling, which was comfort. And second time around, I put purpose behind it, because they always ask me why, like, why, like, what's the, and then I had to really think about it. And I knew that, obviously, I knew I was gonna do it. Like, I knew second time around, I'm gonna do it. So I was like, what's gonna happen after that? So I thought about it, and I remember while doing it, I was like, let me just figure out while I'm doing it, because right now all I know is I want to be uncomfortable. And while I was doing it, I was looking at the cleaners, and they were like mopping the track and stuff like that, and I was like,
this is why
these guys are fasting for sure. I was like, no, I'm not sure. Are they fasting? And I asked him, I was like, you fasting? He's like, yeah. And I was like, wow, like, you think I'm special? Like, these guys have been doing it for God knows every single day. In this summer sun in Ramadan, they're fasting and they're working. Like, I don't feel like I'm not doing anything special. Like why is this all a big deal that, like, I'm flipping a tire, like, fasting, like, I need, I remember there was time, like 8 hours in, when I was done, like 8 hours in, when it hit 1 p.m., I was really, those thoughts, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, I'm in pain. Like, I'm in so much pain. Forget my legs, my back, my spine. You know when you wake up and your neck can't move? Oh, I got that at 1 p.m. and I had to keep going to 6 p.m. Neck can't move, squat, pull, press. Only thing that kept me going was those guys.
Hydrated. You're like, yeah, you're having spasms.
I saw the guy on the way back, same guy, and he was just like, he's like, you can do it. He didn't even say anything. I mean, I just heard in his mouth. I don't know if I was illusioning, but he was like, you can do it. And that guy motivated me. And I went looking for him many times throughout the years. Just can't recognize a face because I was so out of the zone. And I went to a few guys and I said, bro, you remember me? He was just like, no. I was not moving for 5 days after that.
What was the growth? What were the thoughts? How did you feel mentally after that?
All I wanted to do was, drink 100 watermelon juices and.
No, but the days after, there's a big shift which you can't buy that.
This feeling. I wouldn't say. I want to say. Gratefulness and all that came day like 2, because first day,
you're just
bro, I was just shaking. I woke up in the middle of the night, maybe like 5 times that night. Yeah, just shaking and like, I kept having nightmares. I kept having like really bad nightmares. The body was just not happy. The body was like, "Yo, don't ever do this to me again." This is what the body does. Like, it sends you signals that like, bro, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing to me? And it'll fight you. And I think that all the aftermath is also like your dad telling you, like, bro, you better never do that again, or else I'm gonna make you suffer more. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I got. Like, it was just destroying me back, hot, cold, not hungry, bro. I wasn't even hungry. When I finished, I thought I was gonna eat a steak and go to Cheesecake Factory. I had no appetite, bro. And people kept talking to me. And they put me in an ice bath. I don't know if that was a good idea, but I went in an ice bath, and yeah, I came out like broken, bro. Like, crawled up, towel over me. So many people, man. So many of my friends came out to support. That was blessing. I mean, that felt good. Obviously, you get all these, dopamine shots from the news and everyone talking about it and all that. But I think the main thing, I felt this crazy, like, relief. When you just like, when you're so sleepy, that feeling when you're so sleepy and then you wake up from like a really good sleep, it's almost that feeling. And then I remember telling myself when I felt good, like by day 3, day 4, I said, bro, I'm never complaining about anything in my life ever again. I am not complaining about being stuck in traffic. I am not complaining about, when you have to eat and you miss, your dinner time by 3 hours and you're like, yo, I'm so hungry. Like, I want food. I'm not complaining anymore. So you definitely learn how to be grateful, and you definitely learn how to not complain about little stuff, Like, life is not that hard. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I had hard moments. Those moments during that challenge, bro, is different type of hard. It's a feeling I might die. By 3 p.m. I thought I was gonna die. You really think you're gonna die? You think that at any moment, do you know when you're like seeing fuzzy blurry? I'm gonna fall any second. I imagined waking up in the hospital. That happened at 3-4 p.m. I imagined, oh, Seena, bro, don't drop. You talk to yourself.
Of course.
The entire time, 60, I'm talking to myself. All I hear is my own voice. Seena, you're not going to pass out. Chill out. Keep going. Keep moving. You can't stop. There's a rule.
I'm sure you do some mental tricks as well.
I was on a psychology book right before about about using pain as energy. You know? So one thing that kept me driving is every time I felt pain, and this is purely the physical side of it, I was like, that's some gas. You know, like car gas. Like every time I felt, you know, that ache in my neck, I was like, that's about to make my left foot go a little bit faster. So I kept transitioning. And I remember I kept transitioning the pain. I did that many times. The glute started hurting, I moved it to the shoulder. Shoulder started hurting, I moved it to the core.
Yeah, and you kept
core.
switching from a lunge to a
I kept
squat,
switching.
full squat to a...
I did basically what the rule was: don't stop flipping. So I did whatever. At some point, I was using my neck, which was really bad. It was probably the stupidest thing I did because I remember that's probably why my neck was locked up. Yeah.
I don't think with whatever Ironmans I've done, I've pushed myself that much. But I think whenever you push yourself, whatever is your limit, whether you're a beginner, runner, whatever is your limit, and you push yourself and then you push further and then way further and like you did to way further. The part which you cannot buy is self-respect. You know, that self-respect, that can't be bought.
Yeah.
You got to sweat it out. And it's only between you and yourself. It's no one knows what you care about. No one knows your standards. No one knows anything. It's just you and you sticking to what you decided you'll do. That's it. That's all it is. Whether people find it a great deal, whether people find it stupid, it's just between you and yourself. And if you end up sticking to it and pushing through and finishing it, it's a tick.
Yeah.
And that tick is all you need to respect yourself. And if you do not get it ticked, this is the way we're built. We cannot respect ourselves. And if we don't respect ourselves, then nothing can bring us happiness or satisfaction.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Without that confidence, if you don't believe in yourself, it's
Believe that you got you.
Yeah.
You know?
I got my own back.
Yeah. You know, with by God's will, but at least you know that you don't come short from your own doing. You didn't come short from your own capabilities.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole feeling of itself, huh? Yeah. That gives a different... Yeah, that's a good point. You know, I definitely think that also built a lot of confidence as well. Yeah. And that confidence played out for the rest of my life. Yeah. I had to do it one more time.
All right. Final question.
Yeah.
From your perspective, what is the high performance mindset?
We had this on the first one, huh? You gave me a little bit of support on that one. And you know, I think it's back to, again, I'm going to just, what's running through my mind now, fresh what's on my mind, like based on nothing what we talked about. Again, you tell me what's a high performance mindset. I'll throw in a few things. One, having that I'm not going to accept average. That's for me again. I think that word average for me, because of just my coaches and my father as well, is always, you know, do you want to be average? Go for it. Like, he always told me, you want to be average, like, that's okay. If you don't want to be average, then you got to do something different. And that's what I would say requires high performance. You know, that requires the unpredictable. That requires the different. That requires the not normal. You know, normal, for me, normal is average, what we're accustomed to, you know. Work, you know, do this, you know, take care of this. But if, you know, for high performance mindset, you need to just go above and beyond, you know? So it's, I think it's something anyone can get. I think it's not like, you know, he's born with it or that. I think anyone with the right people around and just one, you know, brother to brother, sister to sister, and, you know, just tell them like how I got mentored, which was like, not Seena, you have to, like, Seena, you like, don't be average. It was more of like, do you wanna, like, whatever you want, bro. Like, do you want to be average? Then continue doing what you're doing. But if you want to be different and you want to, you know, what do you want? You know? And I think that if everyone gets that question and they decide that they want to do something to be remembered or do something to, you know, put a mark on their kid or become a greater influence or become a role model to their son or, you know, for me, for example, I've always wanted to just prove something to my mom, you know, like she's always been there for me. And I always think growing up, because I was such a tough kid, I was a tough kid to be parented by, both my mom and my dad. I was always like, I need to do something special for them. And I know to do something special for them, you know, can say I'll buy them a house and material stuff. But it's not about doing something materialistic. It's about, Mom, look, the kid you thought that was just like, you know, below average, because you know, not even average, below average is now, you know, something special that you can talk about, you know, to your sisters, because I had a very competitive family, and my sister has always been kind of my mom's role model to me. So she's always like, be like Sheila, you know, be like Sheila, do this like Sheila. So I always had to it's hard, you know, that standard was hard, you know. She's a proper nerd, you know, like, and she was good at sports as well. So it wasn't even just, you know, just a nerd, you know, she was track runner. She had a, you know, also responsibility. Like, she was also a mother figure. Like, it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like the girl that just focused on herself. She was helping me with my homework for my studies, and then she'd go focus on her own studies, you know? So yeah, I had a lot
that raises the standard.
Yeah, that gave me that feeling that, yo, I gotta raise the stand. Like, I can't be normal. I've gotta, you know, I have to have that high performance mindset, and I've gotta go above and beyond. Like, it's not only read that book, watch a video, and go do it. You know? It's I don't want to say do what others don't do. Do what you see as the maximum. How's that? Like, do, you know, like, if you see there's more room, go fill in that gap. Like, go, don't just, you know, I've done enough. That doesn't work with me anymore. Yeah. I think that can kind of differentiate, you know, high performer. Like, yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Like, you know, I've done enough. I think enough is a very not high performance mindset word. What do you think?
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, one time, Seena.
Always a pleasure.